YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Gravitrix from Ben 10 Omniverse. That's right, I said Ben 10 Omniverse. So, I never thought I would be reviewing a Ben 10 Omniverse toy for a while outside of backlogging. So, this was basically one of the last Deluxe Omnitrixes to be released in Bandai's Omniverse line. As part of their Galactic Monsters subset wave, which, to my knowledge, we never got here in the US, really. At least I didn't see it anywhere here, and also I never have seen any places like eBay that have the seller listed as the US, unless it was like a personal auction. So I think we largely missed that, if not totally. So we saw this, I think, at a toy fair, and I'd seen it around eBay every now and then, back when it came out, but it was usually too expensive or scarce, and I just recently found that they had some on eBay for actually a pretty reasonable price, and I always wanted to pick this up. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. First thing we'll do, as we usually do, is take a look at it look-wise, which I think it's pretty solid. These three little sensor things here, which are, well, sensors, are a bit of an eyesore in terms of just the way it looks as an Omnitrix, which is kind of annoying. But I do appreciate that they actually have the correct color scheme of the red. This is red, guys. Is it a white or gold dress? Of green and then the white, because several of the Omnitrixes throughout Omniverse used the gray, which really bothered me, and they corrected it with stuff like V2s, but yeah, that looks good. You got that same sort of sturdy strap. It can fit most people. I mean, I have little chicken wrists, but, you know, it can fit most people. It's got these little mechanisms here, and it's overall just a fine-looking Omnitrix. It's one of those ones where its function definitely gets in the way of just being a solid-looking Omnitrix. And you press this in a little bit here, it doesn't click in, it just acts as a button, so it doesn't pop up and then click in all the way. And this is obviously going to be a version that only pops out the dial, and you don't have the faceplate over it like you would in the show or some other versions. So basically this thing works off a motion sensor, and it's got two modes, one of which you basically can just wave your hand around and make like sort of music, and the other one you basically raise your hand up a certain distance and it'll make a noise, and it has different noises to indicate you're at different levels, and once it starts going really fast, slam down or just press it from here and you'll get a different alien voice. It's pretty neat. It has 10 aliens. They're kind of random, meaning that there's not, because the Omniverse was kind of like that, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, it's not the original 10, it's not the Alien Force 10, it's just 10 of his used aliens. I'm kind of gonna, my voice might just start for a second because I'm looking over at the box to make sure I remember most people are on here. You got Astrodactyl, I think Crash Hopper's in there, Blocks, Shock Squatch, Feedback, Humongousaur, Forearms, snare-oh, I think maybe one of the Victors on there. I'm not sure, the box is kind of destroyed, but you basically get a hodgepodge of them, and there's a good chance I might not be able to activate all of them because it is kind of annoying to make sure you get all of them, but I'll try to get most of them and you'll get the gist of how it works. Okay, so the on-off switch is down here. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Alright, there we go. So I believe mode 1 is the music mode. Wait. It might be mode 2. No, it's mode 2. Okay, mode 2. I want to do that first. So you get little noises, depending on how you move it in front of it. And you see it can kind of detect the distance, so for whatever reason it's not responding as well as it did before, but so basically that's the idea. There's been others with stuff like that before. There you go. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Like when I was just messing with it earlier, it was kind of being more responsive, but it's neat, and I appreciate what they went for, and it actually is kind of fun and innovative. Okay, now on to mode 1. Okay, so that's kind of its default sort of error noise to let you know you're not on anything. Let's start from down here. So you got that noise. Fast. There's another noise. There's Humongousaur. Crash Hopper. Hold on, I'm trying to get another noise. Kick and Hawk. We already got forearms. It's really kind of obnoxious. And it's not reading it as well as it did before. There's snare-oh. Kind of sounds like he was saying sparrow there. That one might be an error. There we got feedback. We got another one. I'm gonna try for one more. Shock Squatch. Crash Hopper. That's the last one I'm gonna do regardless. Kick and Hawk. Okay. So basically, this is a hard one to work with, and it was when I was doing the prep for this, but once I got here, it was worse. Like, I kind of eventually found a position like this where I was able to select it, but... So, I'm sorry if that was a little bit messy. I definitely will have edited that a little bit. I'm going to leave in some of the parts where it glitched a bit just so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. I usually like to show all the sounds, but I'm really sorry about that. But you get the gist of it, and this thing is a very mixed bag for me because of this. I think that that's a really cool idea, especially when we're used to so many just button presses and stuff like that for toys. It makes it feel very futuristic. I think it's neat. You kind of get this feeling of control when you lock on and there's that activation sound, you know you're switching between something, and I think that's really cool. And it also in a way simulates the way he, you know, uses the little holographic dial in the show. But I kind of hate how glitchy it is. I've hopefully left it in. There was parts where you could see I was barely moving my hand and it was glitching between the activation noises and some of the two levels, and that can make it kind of annoying and frustrating to deal with, especially when you're filming a review. But also it's kind of frustrating with these when you're, you know, for a kid wanting to play with it if you want to turn into Kick and Hawk, but you can't remember the positioning or the numbering or the noise it makes before it. So that can be frustrating. So overall, this last one was a mixed bag. It brought forth a really cool, unique idea of controlling it, but it can be very glitchy and frustrating, and is definitely something that needs to be worked on in the future if they ever try to do something like this, although the Ben 10 toy license is with somebody else now. But anyway, again, sorry about that, but hopefully you still enjoyed this. If there's any more Omniverse reviews, it'll be of figures that I eventually track down and stuff like that. But until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's Awesome Rider, signing out.